Given that the IEC will be speaking shortly, but just give us your impressions of, the voting day thus far, and what do you think are going to be some of the key drivers that lead people to vote today? We know the basics, people want basic services and all of that, but, what are the nuances in terms of the manifestos that are out there, and what will drive people to vote?
Well, I think, first of all, given the circumstance, I think fairly well. The voting's going fairly well. A few hiccups, as the reporters have noticed, but overall, logistically, I think it's good, and in context of the very, very, how should we say, contained situation that the elections had taken place in, given COVID. In terms of the manifestos, I think, what you have is you have a block of people that are just going to be loyal to the party, irrespective. It doesn't matter what they say. For example, if you look at the ANC's manifesto, there's not much difference from what it was 5 years ago. They're just saying, give us a better chance. We'll do better this time, and that constituency is going to vote for them. I think one of the most interesting manifestos is the EFFs. If one looks at the EFF, they're promising all sorts of things, including, by the way, saying that 40% of all municipal employees will be under the age of 30. So appealing to that younger vote. That could, obviously give them a little bit of currency amongst the younger voters. And then you've got the DA appealing to that classic upper middle class section, predominantly whites and others, who are saying, look, if you want stability and lack of corruption here. So I think in some ways it's a fairly boring political election. It's an interesting election in the sense of all sorts of people coming together. But again, as your reporter said, the independents, I think, are the wild card. And those speak to the local issues, very specific local issues, whether it's demarcation, whether it's service delivery, whether it's politics that have been failing of the ruling party. And that's where it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
I think in the larger sense, it's a fairly predictable kind of outcome, but that's the wild card.
Yeah. Given that, of course, it's voting day and results have yet to start coming out, we're in the realm of, speculation right now. But if the menus are more or less the same in terms of the major parties, then it could well be that the independent candidates could be a real game changer. And if that's the case, what does that then do to the political landscape and the bigger parties?
Well, I think what it forces them to do is to become more politically mature. And what I mean by that is, if we, as we're expecting in many of the municipalities, we're going to have a hung council, essentially, nobody's getting majority of the vote, those independent councils are going to play that role. And that means that the major parties are going to have to compromise. If you listen to John Steenhuisen this morning, he said the DA will only make coalitions with those who agree with our principles. The EFF has said we'll only make coalitions with those who agree with everything in our manifesto. This is not real politics. So they're going to have to back off, and they're going to have to deal with independents, and they're going to have to deal with them seriously. And that could be the game changer politically, as opposed to just representationally.
Dr. McKinley, just give me 1 second. I'd just like to welcome our S3 viewers. And of course, just to let you know that we are anticipating an IEC briefing shortly, them giving us a sense of what's taken place in the voting day thus far. So do stay tuned for that.